Chris Sewall here, baseball card collector, investor, dealer in that order. Welcome everyone. High rollers time, and this week we're going to check out the latest Heritage auction. A lot of goodies as always. Heavy on vintage, as is usually the case with Heritage, although there is some modern scattered in as well. And we will count down the 10 highest sales after checking out some honorable mentions. And there we will start with pre-war baseball. 1911 to 1914 D304 Martin's Bakery Napoleon Lajoie, card I've never seen before. It's graded a SGC Pour 1. Looks like a really nice one, at least from here. $7,500. All the prices you see here include the buyer's premium, so technically the sale price was less than this, but that's what the buyer is paying out of pocket to own the card. 1948 Leaf Jackie Robinson rookie, graded an SGC VGEX4. Another really nice looking card for the grade. $11,700 for this iconic card. 1959 Home Run Derby Mickey Mantle, graded a PSA VGEX4. Tough card, as it's an oversized card, as you can see here. Again, yet another card that looks quite sharp here for the grade of a 4. $9,000 on the dot. More vintage oddball baseball. 1971 Topps Greatest Moments complete set. 55 cards in the set, includes all the or many of the major stars from the era: Willie Mays, Bob Gibson, Al Kaline, Ernie Banks, Johnny Bench, Pete Rose, etc., etc., etc. $8,100. Who's feeling lucky? 1979 Topps Baseball Rack Pack unopened case. You get 3 unopened Rack Pack boxes in a case. Rack Pack boxes, I think, had 24 packs of 3, so you can do the math if you'd like. $10,500. Ozzie Smith is the key rookie this year. PSA 10s go for a lot of money, but certainly way more than $10,000 on a PSA 10 Ozzie Smith, but the odds of pulling one of those is not particularly good, hence the question at the beginning, who's feeling lucky. On to basketball. 1986 Fleer Dominique Wilkins rookie, graded a PSA Gem Mint 10. This is one of the lower popped cards in the set for PSA 10s, and it's a 5-figure card, $10,500 from that set. But the stickers set, 1986 Fleer sticker Larry Bird. This is the first year of Fleer basketball. Stickers came 1 per pack, but often came with gum stains, so very, very hard to get these in high grade. This one's a PSA Gem Mint 10, $7,800. Non-sports, 1977 Topps Star Wars Series 1 uncut sheet. 132 cards on the sheet, and the Series 1 was 66 cards, so you get 2 complete sets on this sheet. And Series 1 is the toughest or the most valuable of the 5 series from the 1977 Star Wars set. $18,000 for this item here. The Force is strong with this one. Sports Illustrated Magazine, 1967 Boston Bruins. This is Bobby Orr's first appearance on a Sports Illustrated magazine. It's graded a CGC 9. This is the highest graded copy ever of this magazine. $13,200 for the Bobby Orr magazine rookie, if you will. Some memorabilia. 1985 Kansas City Royals World Series Championship ring. 1985 was the Royals' first ever championship, World Series Championship. Not sure who this ring was assigned to, but it sold for $7,500. Some ticket stubs. 1996 Tiger Woods professional debut. It's a full ticket stub of, the first ever appearance of Tiger Woods at a professional golf event. Graded a PSA VGEX4, and it goes for $7,500. And one more ticket stub. Tiger Woods' first appearance we just saw. Here's Michael Jordan's first ever NBA debut. 1984 ticket stub, Chicago Bulls versus Washington Bullets. And it looks like it's used, but graded a PSA authentic, and it goes for $11,700 for the Jordan ticket stub rookie, if you will. But that brings us to our top 10, and leading us off at number 10, 1967 Topps Stand-Up Proof, number 7, Roberto Clemente, graded a PSA authentic, and not sure why it graded authentic. Looks great from the front, on the front here. Also on the back, perhaps it's got some light trimming. I don't know. I'm not sure why I got the authentic label, but this is a card I have never seen before, never heard of before, did not know it existed, and that's going to make a little more sense in just a second here. It sold for $11,700. I went to the PSA Pop Report and could not find this card on it anywhere. According to the listing, this is the only copy ever graded by PSA, so obviously a ridiculously rare card. I also could not find a known sale of a copy of this card ever, raw nor graded, so we have a first here, at least it appears to be. But there you go, quite a rare card, and $11,700 for the PSA Authentic copy. Number 9, 2003 Finest Gold Refractor, number 88, Kobe Bryant. It's graded an SGC Mint Plus 9.5. The Gold Refractors that year out of Finest were serial numbered out of 25, and this one's serial numbered 25 of 25, for whatever that's worth. Sold for $12,000 on the nose. This is the third known sale of a copy of this card in any grade ever. Neither of the previous two are kind of good comps for it. There was a BGS 9 that sold for $6,000, but that was all the way back in 2020. And then a PSA 10 sold for $65,000. That was in 2022. So, like I said, neither of those really good comps for this one, but I guess this one being sort of in between those two, it, more or less lines up price-wise. Number 8, 1921 W551 strip card, hand cut, Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb, graded a PSA X Mint 6, and I'm usually not a huge fan of the strip cards, but this is a particularly cool one, having perhaps the two greatest pre-war baseball players of all, if not the two greatest, certainly two of the top 5. It's graded a PSA X Mint 6, absolutely beautiful condition for a 100-plus-year-old card. Looks great both on the front and on the back. Sold for $17,400. Very interesting one. It's a super rare card, understandably, so there are not a lot of sales. There's been 2 semi-recent sales, meaning in the last few years. An SGC 5 sold for $6,000 in 2022, and a PSA 3 also sold for about $6,000 in 2021. So those are the 2 most recent comps here. This being a PSA 6, it's a Pop 1 with only 2 copies graded higher, and in fact, this card's only been graded 12 times in total by PSA, so obviously a very rare card. If you want to do the time machine thing, back in 2010, the PSA 9, and there's only one, which a Pop 1, none higher, the single PSA 9 sold for $5,000. I would guess that would go for 6 figures today. Number 7, sticking with Babe Ruth, 1933 Goudey, number 149, Babe Ruth, graded a PSA VG plus 3.5, and looks like a very strong 3.5 from here. Centered quite well, the tiniest bit off center left to right. Not a whole lot to complain about given a 3.5. I mean, lightly tipped corners, not much else. Maybe some light staining on the back, but looks like a really, really strong 3.5. Sold for $19,200. Depending on what sort of data you look at, you could say this price seems high or seems low. And the last PSA 3.5 sale was back in June, so a little over 6 months ago. That one went for $26,000. So compared to that one, this price seems kind of low. But on the other hand, a PSA 4 recently, like more recent than this sale here, just sold for $17,000. So given that one, the price seems kind of high. Number 6, another rare oddball vintage Roberto Clemente card, 1968 Topps 3D. Bob Clemente, better known as Roberto Clemente, graded a PSA near mint 7, and nothing jumps out. Maybe the tiniest bit off centered in both directions. I mean, really, really the tiniest bit off centered in both directions on the front, and the back looks very, very clean. Sold for $19,200. There's actually been a few sales of this card in this grade over the past year, and this really lines up. The last 2 sales of the card were for $18,600 and $21,600. So this sale seems right about where it should be. The card's a PSA Pop 10 with 34 copies graded higher. I actually would have guessed that this card was rarer than that. But yeah, Pop 10 with 34 copies graded higher, including 6 PSA 10s. Number 5, 2000 Fleer Tradition Autographics Gold Tom Brady Rookie Auto. Graded a BGS near mint plus 8.5, above average level. No, sorry, average level subgrades for the grade. 2 8.5s, an 8, and a 9. You also get a 9 for the auto. Auto looks pretty clean. Not sure why it's just a 9, but the card is serial numbered out of 50. And I don't know, 8.5 overall grade seems a little high given those tipped corners on the left, but maybe that's that's just me. Sold for $19,800. Sale is basically right in line. The last sale of a BGS 8.5 was about 6 months ago for $17,000, so I guess you could call it a little bit high, but realistically nothing crazy going on here. Number 4, 1984 Star, number 101 Michael Jordan Rookie or pre-rookie, depending on who you ask. Graded a PSA near mint 7, and centering seems to be the major culprit. Left-right is off-centered. Everything else looks very nice about the card. PSA just recently started grading these once again after many, many years not grading them. And so, this card is in particularly high demand, especially in PSA holders. Sold for $20,400, and there's actually been quite a few sales of this card in this grade. About 12 of them in the last 2 months in PSA 7 grade, and those 12 averaged $21,000. So this one is right smack dab there where it should be. Number 3, 1951 Bowman, number 253, Mickey Mantle rookie. Graded PSA EX5, and yeah, sort of looks like a standard 5. Off-centered top to bottom as you look at the card. Some lightly tipped corners, a very light smudge stain maybe just above his name. Rest of the front surface looks pretty clean. Back has a notable stain down on the left as you look at the card. Also some staining maybe at the top right, but overall a 5 seems about right for this card. Sold for $27,600. This price is actually a little bit high. Not crazy high, but the previous 7 sales of a PSA 5 going back about 2 or 3 months or so range from $19,000 up to $24,000 at the top. So this one's, you know, sort of maybe 10 to 20% above where the average of recent sales has been landing. Number 2, 1921 E121 American Caramel Series of 80 George Ruth, better known as Babe Ruth, and it's graded an SGC Good 2 and looks to have a slant cut, a diamond cut, whatever you want to call it. If you look at the right border, you can see it's significantly wider at the bottom than it is at the top. So sort of a crooked looking card, and that seems to be the main reason for the 2, although it has fairly rounded corners as well. Surface looks pretty clean both on the front and on the back. Sold for $43,200. So it was a little interesting when I did the research on this card because there's actually 3 variations of it. There's a Babe Ruth, a Babe in parentheses Ruth, and a George Ruth. And this George Ruth here is by far the rarest of the 3, and this is actually the all-time record sale of this card in any grade, which was a little surprising, but it is indeed the case. The previous high was an SGC 3 going for $27,000 a few years ago. This is the new record sale of the card in any grade. It's actually extremely rare, this variation where it says George Ruth as opposed to Babe Ruth on the card. The George Ruth has only been graded by PSA a total of 7 times, and a total of by SGC 5 times. So only 12 total times it's been graded by one of the 2 biggest major grading companies, and the highest grade it's ever received from any of the companies is a 3. Some good information for you to wow your friends at the bar with. And number 1, 1952 Topps Baseball Near Master Set. 490 different cards included here out of 491. Now the 1952 Topps set only has 407 cards in a complete set, but many of the cards come in multiple back variations. There's a lot of cards have black backs and red backs, and then other cards have errors and corrections. So there's 491 different cards in the master set. This has all but one of them missing only the Mickey Mantle. 15 of the top cards are graded by PSA. Those are the 15 you see on screen there. Willie Mays is a 3, Jackie Robinson's a 1.5, Eddie Matthews rookie is a 2, and it's generally sort of a lower mid-grade, or lower or lower mid-grade set overall. Sold for $45,600. When I first saw that price, I thought that seemed kind of low, just with all the high numbers included, and it being a near master set. I don't know. Struck me as a little bit low, but I didn't do any sort of breakdown to confirm that. But that's it. Your top 10 this week featured 3 Babe Ruth, 2 Roberto Clemente, and 1 each of Mickey Mantle, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Ty Cobb, and a 1952 Topps Baseball Near Master Set. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and see you all again next time. Thanks everyone.